Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Picnic Table Chat Show. This is Season 3, Episode 4, and tonight I've got with me an amazing guest. We have Mark the Spider Guy. If you haven't seen Mark the Spider Guy before, I've put his link in the chat already, so just scroll back up and find the link and give him a little sub for us. Welcome, Mark. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself there, buddy, just give us a little introduction.
Hi, everyone. Mark Spider Guy. Got a channel that deals mainly in rehousings of tarantulas. I do show new ones off when I've got them. Been doing it for 6 years now, but I did keep them in the past. But that was when I was a kid, many years ago. And that's about it, really. I've been keeping them in like 6 years.
Might be having a little technical issue there. Bear with us. Let's just see if we can bring Mark back. We seem to have lost Mark just for this second, but that's okay. Oh, we might be coming back. Yeah, I think we might be back.
Good.
Yeah, we're back. I don't know what happened there. So you were just telling us that you've been keeping them for about 6 years. Is that right?
Yeah, been 6 years now.
That's quite a considerable amount of time. In that time, what sort of species have you owned?
I've owned all sorts of fossorials, arboreals, and tree spiders, all sorts. I've got quite a big collection of spiders. So there's a mix of everything in there.
So what sort of spiders did you start with?
My very first spider when I was a child was a curly-haired tarantula. Didn't know much about them. I was 12 at the time. Put a full box of crickets in. The crickets actually ate the spider. So, that was a learning curve for me. Then I went from there. I had a Goliath tarantula. Kept that for a number of years when I was a kid, and when that died, I stopped keeping them. And then, like 6 years ago, I started again with 2 Mexican redlegs and Cancerodies, which is the Asian brown, and also another Burma.
That's pretty cool. So do you have quite a large collection at the moment?
At the moment, I've got 180 tarantulas, and then I've got me 9 scorpions and 2 snakes. But the passion is me.
That's pretty impressive. But do you keep them all at home?
Yeah. Every one of them in my living room.
Yeah. Wow. So coming into your house can be pretty intimidating for some then.
It can, yeah, if you don't like spiders.
Yeah.
Katrina, I have...
do you generally find...
Sorry, just answering Katrina's question. I've got a ball python and a corn snake.
That's pretty cool. In fact, I think I've seen some of your snakes on your channel in some of the shorts and things like that I've watched. Yeah, very cool. I do like snakes as well. Do you find that people tend to freak out a little bit when you tell them that you keep tarantulas?
Yeah, I get it a lot of the time. They say, you must be mad and why do you do it? But if you've got a love of something, you're going to, it's no different from having a cat or dog to me.
Yeah. 100%. We're the same in the ant keeping community. Everyone kind of looks at us like ants, but yeah, it's the same thing. Like, we love them. So what made you choose tarantulas over other inverts? What really attracts you towards them?
It's just the behaviour, they just amaze me, and the way they can, build. Like, you wouldn't think you'd see a spider like building a burrow like and carrying dirt out, and they just amazed me with that. And like since I was a child, I've always had a fondness for them.
No, that's really cool. That's really cool. I don't actually know much about them myself. So what is the difference between a spider, like a normal household spider, and a tarantula? What really makes that classification difference?
House spiders, they just like normal, little spiders, and they don't grow to a certain way. They don't act the way as a tarantula does, and the venom's totally different.
Yeah.
And you have a bite off an house spider, it's not usually that bad, although some people can have a reaction to it. But a tarantula's venom is a lot different to a little house spider's.
Yeah, that's fair. And obviously they grow a lot larger, don't they?
They do grow a lot larger. I mean, the Goliath bird eater, you can get as big as a dinner plate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was always the one that I wanted. I always wanted Goliath. I was going to get it, and then the wife kind of moved in and said, "Not a chance." But yeah, that's the one I always wanted. I have thought about getting one of the little jumping spiders because they're so small, they're easy to keep. What do you think about jumping spiders? Are they cool?
To be honest, I do like them, but I've never kept one.
Okay. Is that because they're so different to tarantulas?
Yeah, I'm more for the bigger spiders, but don't get me wrong, I do think they're lovely little spiders, and anybody that has one, they're going to have a nice spider there. But me, I'm more for my bigger spiders, although I do have a couple of dwarf species.
Okay, okay. So dwarf species, are they the same size as house spiders, or are they still much larger?
Depends on what dwarf species you have. They can be slightly smaller, or they can be slightly larger.
Okay.
Depending on what breed you have.
Okay, but I guess their traits are different to house spiders. They're more aggressive and, like you say, more potent venoms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool. So that's how they classify them.
Yeah, a spider will only be aggressive if it feels threatened.
Okay,
you can have the
tarantulas tend to be aggressive all the time.
They're not really aggressive spiders. They'll only get aggressive if they feel threatened. People say a lot of them, like with the venom, and you're gonna get bit, you're gonna get bit. But I've never heard of anybody that's died from a spider bite. I've myself been bit 5 times.
Yeah.
But they'll only like bite you if they feel threatened, but they'll threat pose and things like that first.
Yes.
Give you warnings.
Yeah. Can it be damaging for the spider to bite? Like, say, like with bees using their stinger can be damaging for them. Can they like break a fang or anything like that?
They can break a fang. The fangs are normally quite strong, but if they bite down on some of the hard enough, they can break a fang.
Okay. And that would obviously affect their ongoing life. They'd struggle to eat after that, I'm guessing.
If they've got one fang, they can, on some species, can learn to deal with it to eat like that. But some of them, they couldn't do it. And that is mainly why they'll either flick hairs at you, threat pose you, and run away. And most of them will run away from you.
No, that's fair enough. Makes complete sense. The other thing I was going to ask about that is sometimes you see that they've lost a leg. Do spiders regrow legs?
Yes, I do.
They do. Now, that's really interesting. Is that when they molt?
When they molt, they grow the legs back. The only time they won't grow it is if they're adults and they've had their final molt. And if they lose a leg, then that leg's gone for good. But if they're young enough and they lose a leg, they will grow back.
That's really cool, actually. Really interesting. Um, the other thing that I've got written down in front of me is, can you explain what slings are? I keep hearing the term slings being
Slings
thrown
are
around.
the baby spiders. That's the term what they're called. So when you
Okay,
first buy a spider, and it could be like half a centimeter, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, then it's that's what you call a sling.
okay,
The
so,
baby spiders.
okay. So they come from the egg sac first, and then they move into sling stage, and then they go through the different molts until they reach adult.
Yeah, they'll come out of the egg sac and they'll be called eggs with legs because they still look like they've got eggs attached to them. But
Right.
as they
Okay.
go on and they molt, they start getting bigger and bigger. So
Yeah.
each stage of their life, they have a molt and they grow a little bit. So, and then you've got your males that once they've matured, they will hook out, which is like two legs on two hooks on the front legs. And that means it's a mature male.
Okay. So what would they use those for? Is that for like latching on during mating?
That is actually for when they're mating, yeah. They sort of like spider there, and it sort of pushes the female back so it can get
Okay.
in and do the job.
Wow.
But
That's really interesting.
there's a little molt.
Oh wow. So there's not a spider in that one. That's
No,
just a molt.
these are actually just little molts, which I keep to give to a friend because she uses them to make jewellery out of, like off the fangs and that. But
Wow.
these are just some of my smaller ones. There's another one there.
Wow, that's
But
a good one.
yeah, but like I say, the molds can come out pretty perfect. And to be fair, looking at it, you'd think there was another spider in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Do they ever eat their own molts?
some of them will.
Okay, that's
Um,
interesting.
some of them will eat the molts because for some of them it is good for them.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's lots of nutrients left in it, isn't there?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Much like isopods and crabs and onwards would go. Um, I've always thought that spiders kind of they wrap up their prey and they suck the blood out. Is that correct, or am I completely wrong on that?
Some spiders will, certain species, but with tarantulas they won't. They'll actually like grab it and then they'll like digest it. They'll turn the insides like to liquid and do it that way and then eat them.
Oh. Okay, so it's like they suck it up through a straw as such. They
Mm,
turn it to liquid. That's cool.
yeah.
That's cool. Do they live quite long?
Again, it varies from species to species. Some like with the males, you can have live for 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Some females can live up to 25 years, 30
Wow.
years.
Wow. So that's a massive difference between the males and the females.
Yeah.
Is that because when the males reach maturity, they mate and then generally get eaten?
A lot of them do get eaten, but some do like manage to get away from the females.
Yeah.
But once they've matured out, the males don't last long, really.
No. And I expect that is because their only purpose in life is to mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously females is to carry on. So again, that difference between the males and females is really substantial, quite impressive. Sort of the same as we get in the ant world, actually. The males hardly last a year, whereas the female queens can last, 20, 30 years, some of them.
Mm.
Do you breed the spiders?
No, I've
Right.
never bred any. People have said to me, "Why don't you breed them?" But it's never been my thing to make money out of them. It's just been my thing to
Your
have them
passion.
and keep them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that's fair. I have seen when people like breed snakes and things, they breed different morphs together. Is that the
mhm.
sort of thing that's doable with tarantulas as well? Can you breed different morphs?
No,
No.
no, you can't. No.
Okay. So do they, if a different species comes in contact with another, will they instantly start to fight?
They probably would start to fight. It has been tried with breeding them from different genes,
Yeah.
but it wasn't really a success. So, that's telling you that it's not meant to be.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I mean, quite a lot of things won't do that, but I always thought it was interesting with snakes that they're so varied. They don't mind what they go with, I suppose. So is it an easy hobby to get into, keeping tarantulas? Is it expensive? Do you need a lot of knowledge to get into it?
No, it's not expensive to get into it, and you always start start with a spider that's you can handle, or not pick it up and that, but you can give the care to and that. You always say with every spider, before you buy one, do your research.
Yes.
Always do your research, and it is a good hobby to get into. But yeah, as Russell said, very addictive.
Very
But,
addictive, yeah.
yeah.
We know that with the ant keeping world. I've currently got 37 colonies of my own. It just, you get one, and before you know it, you've got 20, and another shelf goes on the wall. Yeah. If only we had more space.
That's it. But always do your research.
Yeah, 100%. Do your research, find out what you're letting yourself in for, diet-wise and the habitat. With their habitat, with ants, we have to provide certain humidities and temperatures. Is that the same thing for tarantulas?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like the Theraposas, which are the Goliaths, they like the plenty of moisture, not soaking, but enough moisture to keep them. And moisture also helps with the molting as well. Some species like the Mexican redknee, but they like a drier thing because that's where they come from, like Mexico, things like that, where it's a lot warmer. But certain species like Theraposas definitely need the moisture.
Yes. So again, it's really important to do that research beforehand and know what you're getting.
Yeah. Some spiders will like it cooler than others, but again, you do your research, find out the background of the spider, where they come from, what the temperatures are, where they live, and just, make sure you do all that research and get it to how you want it.
Yeah.
No good buying a spider and not doing your research and having it die on you.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. The same as with any pet, really. If you don't know what you're doing, it's not going to last very long generally. So I did have another question in my head, and it's just gone completely out the window. It comes, it goes, it doesn't matter. Okay. Getting back to my list. You say you've been bitten 5 times. What was the most painful, and what did it feel like?
To be fair, it felt, because they weren't very big spiders. I mean, the biggest one was roughly about, say, that big. So that was Grammostola oerenge. That was my very first bite, and I was actually doing a rehouse for Peter Webster, and it ran out of its enclosure onto my arm and bit me. Didn't really have any side effects or nothing off that. The worst one I've been bit by was a green femur lividum. That was fairly painful. It was only a baby about big, but it did cause my hand to swell up and a bit of pain around the bite. So that was a bit painful, but it only lasted a couple of days and it went.
Couple of days.
Yeah.
That's quite a considerable amount of time to be in pain, though.
Yeah.
But so do you know what the worst is in the world? What is the worst tarantula bite or sting or poison?
People have different opinions. Some of them say it's the P. metallica. Some of them say it's a feather-leg baboon. But people have their own opinions on what one is the worst venom-wise.
Okay, but both pretty deadly, I would have imagined.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to tell who dies faster, basically.
Yeah. Nobody'd ever died from a bite.
No?
No, nobody. Like I say, the only way I'd ever heard of anybody dying is having a very, very severe reverse
Reaction to it.
reaction. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you'll probably be in pain for a bit, and you think, well, I won't want to bite off that again, and be more careful next time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's nobody I've heard of has ever really died of them.
So that's like a massive myth just broken there, because everyone's always scared of tarantulas and it's like, oh no, it's so poisonous. That's that's just broken that myth completely for me. Thank you very much. Reassuring. So when I was watching your channel, I see that you quite often, well, generally you build like bioactive setups with your cork bark and the soil and substrate and things like that. Is that a requirement, or can you have them in a bare enclosure?
No, mine are actually bare enclosures with just a cork barking.
Okay.
I am thinking of doing some bioactive setups, but you can do it just as well with just the way I do it with the cork barks, and you can put your artificial plants in. A lot of them, if you do it bioactive, you can put real plants in. But I did try it with real plants with my sturmey. I had quite a few real plants in with that, and it just demolished them all.
Yeah. See, I was going to ask about that next. You said that they tend to do that in one of your videos. Do you know why?
I don't know the reason why they do it, but they do it. It's a shame, really, because they do look really nice with the living plants in there. But like I say, if you have a proper bioactive setup, then it works really well with a lot of spiders.
Yeah. So you could, if you had if you had a massive setup, could you hold 2 or 3 in the same container?
Yeah, not really. You can't really mix them. I mean, the Socotra Island blue baboon. Now I've got an enclosure. It's got 9 in there.
Oh wow!
They've lived since little babies, little slings together, and they've got on fine. I did have a colony of Regalis, which is the Indian ornamental, but as I got older, I decided to split them up because eventually they would start killing each other.
Okay.
So I did split them ones up.
So they don't tend to live in communities, even family communities, as they get later in life.
No. Yeah, like I say, the only ones that would do it are the Socotra Island blue baboons. You can keep them communally.
Cool.
I've got 9 in my commune.
So, to be honest, that's probably the scariest tarantula going, the ones that come at you in groups.
No, to be fair, they all run in different directions to get away from you. I mean, I have got a video up where I've actually done a new enclosure for them and putting it in. So but yeah, that's it. That's the ones, Katrina Balfouri.
Balfouri, yeah.
Yeah, Monocentropus balfouris.
We've got a question here from Stacey. Do you have any deadly spiders? Now, I know we said that you don't really die from them, but do you have anything that is considerably poisonous, or what other people would be considering to be poisonous?
No, they're not. It's not poison. What's it? The difference is with poison, it's something you drink.
Okay.
With venom, it's something that is injected. So it's the venom they've got. Now, none of them are poisonous, but they are venomous. No, it's like I say, you will be ill for a bit with some severe bites, and but it's very rare you hear of people getting that ill that they end up dying, or
the hairs,
it's really nauseous and that.
The hairs can be quite irritating, can't they? They can get into
They're very, very, very irritating. are not nice being flicked by them and having the hairs on them, because the hairs are actually like single hairs with barbs on them that you can't see. So as soon as they go on your skin, you go to scratch, and all you're doing is pushing them barbs in further, so you can be scratching for hours. So that's the thing with the hairs, but that's one of their defense mechanisms anyway. They will flick, they will fret pose.
Okay. So if you did get covered in these hairs, what would you recommend to get them off and not make it worse?
Well, as silly as it sounds, some people say put sellotape on your arm and pull the things, see if that works. Myself, it sounds stupid, but if I've got one of a known flicker, I'll wear something with long sleeves. Or long gloves, so that it's only going to go onto your garment, not onto your arms. Always best to remember that if you're doing. I mean, I don't do it with my rehousings, but a lot of people should if they have a reaction to the hairs. It's always best to wear, even if you wrap cling film around your arm or you're doing it, and then just remove the cling film.
Yeah. No, that's a really good idea and great advice, actually, for anyone who's struggling with tarantulas. Do you find that they escape ever? Have you ever had them escape?
I have had a couple escape. Most of the time, I do find them again. I have had 2 that I didn't find.
Okay.
But I did eventually find them, and they were dead.
Yeah.
That's a shame. But my bigger ones that have escaped, I've had them go underneath the sofa. I've had them up on the top of the curtain, and they've always been caught up again. So
yeah. Wow. So you just kind of sat there watching telly, you turned to the side, and there's a tarantula at your side.
Yeah. Well, my partner was she was doing the waters, and one of me tree spiders, the mania, it run out up her arm and was on her back. I was in the kitchen at the time, and she called me. I did actually get a catch cup to catch her up, but before I had a chance, it jumped onto my hand. So I just took it over to its enclosure on my hand and put it back in. But they can give a nasty bite as well.
Okay, wow. So do you handle them very often, or was that because you needed to?
No, I try not to handle them, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not fair handling them, because you're putting yourself at risk from getting bitten, and you're putting the spider at risk. If you drop it, that spider's going to die because it's going to rupture its abdomen. So I'll try not to handle them.
No, that's completely sensible, in my opinion. In the ant world, there are people which handle their ants. I always advise against it. There's no point in stressing out that animal for your enjoyment. So say one of your tarantulas did escape. What would be your sort of protocol? Would you run around looking for it? Do you have like a set thing that you would do?
Well, 9 times out of 10, if they do escape, you can see where they're going to. So all you do is you get that tarantula, leave it where it is, grab your catch cup, because once they've found somewhere safe, they'll stop anyway. Get yourself a catch cup, get it into the catch cup, just use the little paintbrush to coat it in. And once you got it in your catch cup, just go and put it back in the enclosure.
Okay. So I did see you actually doing that in one of your videos lately. And like you say, you used the paintbrush to sort of brush them into the catch cup. Yeah. Do you ever struggle to get them to go in?
You do get your awkward ones now and again that don't want to go in. I'm not going to lie. You do get them. And you do get them where they don't want to go in. They will threat pose you and, do the things that they do. But 9 times out of 10, I do have, pretty good ones that normally go in for me.
Yeah, that's good. Do you find they get kind of more used to you as a keeper?
No, I don't think tarantulas are always going to be wild animals. You're never going to tame one. It don't matter how long you have it. you'll never tame it. It's a wild animal. You'll never tame it.
Yeah, that's fair. So it's not one that you can go over and stroke.
No, there is some that you can pick up that won't bite you, but
Okay.
even though, like I said, it's at your own risk, because as good as they are, they can still turn around and bite you.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
it's a wild
definitely.
animal. You know, so I advise that you don't handle them. You know.
Yeah. I mean, there's no real reason to handle animals like that. It doesn't benefit anyone, in my opinion. Do
Yeah,
they
I
need?
do, Russell.
Sorry. Do they
Sorry,
need much
Russell was asking
space?
about my LP. That one's always got an habit. When I take the lid off, always got an habit of coming out for a walk, and it normally
Okay.
walks up my arm,
Oh, nice.
but he goes straight back in.
That's fair. Do they require much space? I know they need quite a bit of space for their nesting area as such, but do they like wander very far from their nest?
They don't actually need a lot of space. I tend to give mine space because, you know, to me, I like to give them space to move around and not just be cooped up in one area.
Yeah.
So I try to. I mean, I've got a rack. It's actually a snake rack for when you're breeding snakes, and
Yeah.
I've keep all my little spiders in there till they're at a size where I can move them out. And once
Yeah.
I move them out, I'll give them a bigger area.
Yeah.
My,
Yeah.
my
I think it's nice to give them that extra bit of space because there's a
yeah,
bit more enrichment for them, and if they
yeah,
want it, it's there.
yeah. My Sturmy, when it was alive, it was in a 3-foot exoterra, so it had all the space it needed. You
Wow.
know, but I do like to try and give them the best care and,
Yeah.
you know, decent enclosures where they can walk around and.
Yeah. No, I like that because I've seen quite a few where the enclosure is really well made, but it's quite small. About a foot wide or whatever. And you can see what the idea is, and most of it is for nesting space. But like you say, it's nice to give them that area to walk around. My scorpion, I've got him in a 4-foot tank, and it's just one scorpion on his own. So you also keep scorpions and snakes as well.
Yeah.
What got you into that? Is that just something else that you fancy doing alongside the spiders, or were they something completely separate?
They was I never ever was going to have snakes, never. But Peter Webster gifted me one with an enclosure, so that was my first snake. And then Leah of Unusual Pets, she gifted me the baby corn.
Yeah.
So yeah, I decided to keep them. The scorpions was just some of that I liked, and then my friend Peter Webster bought me my very first one as a gift,
Yeah.
and then I started having them off Ellie of Ellie's Bug Babies because she was downsizing. So yeah, so that's how I got my scorpions basically.
That's cool. No, I really like scorpions. I've only got the one, and I think he's amazing. Before having him, I had never seen one in like real life. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
well,
cool.
I've got a flat rock scorpion. I've got Israeli gold scorpion. I've got an emperor scorpion, and then the rest are Asian forest scorpions.
Yeah, that's what mine is. That's what mine is. I think mine's probably the largest he's going to get, but I'm not sure. He's quite a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like scorpions a lot. It was one of those that, like you say, I got it one day just on a whim, and I fell in love with it straight away. I've been desperate to get a snake for many years, the same as a tarantula, but it's just not happening. My wife won't let me get the snake or the spiders. I'm hoping I can buy a little jumping spider. you know, put it on a shelf and be like, oh no, it's been there for years, babe. You just haven't noticed it, and just start building a collection without her taking it in, you know. She won't notice another enclosure on the shelf. There's hundreds.
Do what most people do. Order something from the spider shop and ask them to put a little note in saying that you've won them.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. If anyone ever sends me anything, I say just write that I've won it, or you know, just write something, if freebie or well, you know, get me out of trouble. So what is your favorite between them? Do you prefer the tarantulas, the scorpions, or the snakes?
Tarantulas always. They'll always come first.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair. Do you have a favorite species of tarantula?
I do. They're the Panther species, big bird eaters. They've always been my favourite because the colours that you get are amazing on them. There's one that I'll never be able to afford because it's like £600 to buy it. So, and that's the Panther Solaris.
Right. Okay.
But that's my dream spider.
That's quite expensive. £600 for a spider.
Yeah.
Wow. Do they obviously they range in price on varying of the species? What's the sort of cheapest tarantula that you could buy?
A salmon pink bird eater, the Lasiodora pariobama. You probably pick one of them up as a sling for about £2-3 quid.
Oh wow. So very affordable then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at that point you don't need much enclosure either.
No, but they do get very big. Very big.
Yeah. Okay, so you need to grow with it. Do you have any interesting stories that you would like to share with us? Like, I don't know. I always bring up my story. I once did like some ninja moves and managed to save a test tube of ants as it was falling off a table. Have you ever done anything like that? Any interesting stories to share?
No, not really. I mean, I did have when Peter lost his Tegu. He thought it had got out his invert room and done a runner, and I went over on the night and I managed to like get down behind the cupboard, and he was behind there, and like I managed to get him out, and Pete was over the moonlight because he thought he'd got out of his big invert room light and escaped outside and died. So, you know, that was a bonus.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any species of tarantula that you don't like?
No.
None.
I love them all.
That's fair.
And if I've got a big enough room, I would have them all.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Do you feel the same about other spiders, like the black widow?
I do like other spiders. You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, all the true spiders, I like them. The tiger wandering spider, I had one of them. Unfortunately, that died. I have got a little black velvet spider, which is not a tarantula. So, you know, I've got one of them. So, yeah, I do like other spiders.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's quite surprising, actually. I was expecting you to say you much prefer tarantulas and the things like black widow aren't really an interest to you. So, going on with the black widow, is it as deadly as people say? Do you know much about the black widow?
I don't know much about them, to be honest, but I've heard a lot of stories. But it's like anything. If you have it look after it and you be sensible with it, you know, in my opinion, they ain't nothing to worry about. I mean, there's false widows. I've had false widows run down my face, and you know, I'd never kill anything.
Yeah,
They've all got a right to live, and I'd never kill any animal, even centipedes, and I can't stand them things.
Yeah, they're pretty unique taste, aren't they, centipedes? You go to many shows, don't you? You go to quite a few shows and things like that. Is that right?
I try to go to the shows as much as I can when I can. I have got one coming up next month, which is probably the biggest invert show in the country.
Wow, that's quite
So
impressive.
it will be my first time at that one, because when I was going to go for the first time is when COVID started, so it got cancelled.
Yeah,
So I'm quite looking forward to this one.
No, that'd be really cool. I've never actually been to all the bigger invert shows. I've been to a couple of little ones, but actually going to a massive invert show, it would be really phenomenal. We're having an ant convention where we're having like a few inverts and stuff like that I'm actually organising. That's happening in August. So again, I'm really excited for that. Hopefully it'll be the same sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, really exciting times in the ant world.
Mm.
Do you find that there's much of a divide when you go to these invert shows between the different inverts, say tarantulas or the scorpion keepers? Do you find there's much of a divide between us?
I actually think there is more like spider keepers, tarantulas, than what you do find for scorpions and that. But then there's a lot of people into their oh god, what do you call it? I think forgot what it's called. Like isopods and that's it. There's a lot of people into them as well, and they're into the millipedes, the centipedes, and
The other things,
so there is a good choice there most of the time for them, but you do find the bigger shops like the spider shop, so many legs, sparse spiders, and you know all them. They're always there, like, and
yeah.
they do have really good selections, but like the spider shop and that, and the others, they don't just do tarantulas. They do
Everything.
millipedes, centipedes, everything, a bit of everything. So I think it's well like placed out for everybody. You know, every invert keeper, you know, whatever it is, they have a good choice.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I'm really hoping that eventually ants and ant keeping will kind of reach that same plateau where we're recognised along the invert community. Because I somewhat feel that we're left behind at the moment.
Yeah, but they are starting slowly to get ants in at the shows, which is always a good thing, you know, because it does give that choice to people if they do want their ants. So it's always a good thing to see that coming into the shows.
Yeah,
you know, so everybody a chance of what they want and not just go there to a show and see nothing they want. So it is good. It is very good.
That's kind of what I was hoping as well with my show, bringing in those other inverts and other animals as such. It just gives us a lot more opportunity to explore different things and learn new things. You know, you might find that you have a hidden passion for tarantulas that you never know. You know,
that's it. It's you know you go there and you look. It's like with mantis. I never thought I'd ever have mantis, but you know I've had loads of mantis now.
Yeah.
I don't have them because I get too attached to them and they die too quick. So I don't have them there because I get upset when one of them dies, and
Yeah, that's fair. Do you tend to get upset when your tarantulas die? Do you get really attached to each one?
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
I had one die last week. It actually ruptured its abdomen.
Oh no. Okay, so that's that one gone. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was one I lost. And I'd had that since like a 1 centimetre sling, and it was semi-adult when it died.
Wow.
But it was I only found it when it come to feeding day, but it normally lives up on the top of its bark, but for some reason it had started burrowing under his bark, and he copped his abdomen on a piece of the bark and ruptured it. So yeah, that upset me a lot. That one did.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. It always hits hard when you lose any pet. I get attached to all of my ants as well, and you know it's it's horrible when they die. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Do you name them?
Some of them I have got names for.
Right.
I wouldn't name them all because the amount I've got, I'd never remember them, but I have got names for some of them.
Yeah, that's fair. So are they your favourites that you name?
They're not like I've got a Doliathella diamantinensis, and it's I've got one of them, and it was only because of Ellie's bugs babies that I got one of them, and I named it after her. I call it Hot Ellie because she's gorgeous, so I call it Hot Ellie.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like that.
And then I've got another one, my Canceroides, which is my Ocean Brown. Yeah. That one's called Beryl, but I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so, you know.
Whoops.
My Sturmy was called Big Bum because it had a fat ass.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, there's a few of them got names.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, yeah. I give little pet names to quite a few of my insects. I've named all my crabs, but I've never gone round and named all the ants. Some of them have names, but only because I have like 2 or 3 colonies of the same species. And I'm sure everyone in the chat is currently laughing at me because I just said that I'd name my crabs. They normally have a right chuckle at that.
Can I just answer Stacey's question?
Yeah.
Stacey, I feed them everything from locusts, dubia roaches, red runners. Try to vary their diet because it'll get a bit boring if you give them the same thing all the time. Crickets, you know, give them a bit of everything. Mario worms, mealworms. So yeah, that's what I feed them.
On with the feeding, do they only require like protein and that sort of thing? Do they not need sugars?
It's mainly like the food has got all the nutrients I need. So as long as they're feeding well, a lot of spiders can go without. I've had a spider go without for 9 months without eating. I've got one at the moment who's gone without for 2 months, and they're still as lively as anything. They can go off the food when they go into pre-molt as well.
Yeah.
And they won't eat then.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you keep feeder insect colonies, or do you buy them?
I buy a lot of them, but I have got a colony of dubia roaches.
Yeah.
So, but the rest of them I'll buy in bulk from Live Foods for You. So I have them delivered every week. Okay.
So is that a good supplier that you'd recommend?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. They're always on the ball with their orders, you know. So, and if you've got any problems, you get in touch with them. They'll deal with it straight away.
Brilliant. Brilliant. That's what we like to hear. We always need new feeder suppliers in the ant keeping community, so that's always handy to hear.
Yeah, but that, like I say, they're excellent. They do next day delivery as well.
Wow.
So,
yeah,
you know,
that's good. That's good. Do you enjoy keeping your dubia roaches, or do you try not to get attached to them?
I don't really get attached to them, to be honest, because I know that they're
for feeding
as a feeder, you know. So my partner gets attached to them, like so. She does.
Yeah. It's one thing I found when I started breeding my own feeders was I kind of had to keep it separate in my mind that they're for food, they're not for playing with, they're not for looking at. Just kind of leave them in the corner and don't, because if I spend too much time watching them, I'd struggle to kill them. Yeah. I always say it's the same as a cow for me. If you name a cow, I can't eat the burger. I don't want to eat Daisy, you know. But if you don't name the cow, then I can quite happily eat the burger. It's a weird one how it works in the brain, but that's just how it is. I'm just going to say, if anyone in the chat has any further questions, please do put them in now, and I'll make sure to get asked at the end. Moving on to the questions. To people which have a phobia of spiders and tarantulas, what sort of advice would you give?
Well, find somewhere that lets you handle them, because I think if you get to handle one and you see how they actually are, I know I don't like handling, but if it gets them over their phobia, you know, of a spider that's pretty docile, it can be a good thing for them. I do know a couple of people have got over the phobias that way, and they are actually keeping spiders now. So, you know, it is a good thing.
Well, that's really good. What does it feel like when they do walk over you?
It feels, it's a funny sensation, really, because a spider's got like little claws. People don't know, but they're retractable like a cat, so they can go in there. But they use it for climbing, like rough surfaces, like bark. So tree spiders and that, they'll have them. It is a funny sensation on your hand, but if like that one that was on my partner's back, she actually had the claws digging in her back as he was walking, and her upper arm, so it was using it to grip.
So are their claws like quite sharp and long? Could they like scratch you?
They're not really sharp, long, but they are sharp. Got a good point on them, so they just use it for, like, if that's a piece of bark, they'll use it to get it in and hook in, so it gives them, you know, that thing from falling.
Wow.
They can also jump as well.
Wow. Okay. Can many spiders jump?
It's mainly the tree spiders that can jump, because they're living high up in the trees, and they jump from one side to another on the branches, you know. So they're not big jumpers. They can't jump like massive spaces, but they can certainly jump small spaces.
Yeah, that makes sense. The other thing is, you see when Spider-Man uses his web to like swing between things, is that ever real? Has that got any element of reality to it?
The webbing on spiders is probably one of the strongest things you can get. It is so strong you wouldn't believe it, and you know, it can support a decent weight. We look at it as just webbing and think, oh yeah, when we can do that. But if they're actually using that for building and supporting, that is unreal. Especially the black velvet spider. Now their web is really strong.
Okay, so does the spider's web have like other applications? Is it used for anything around the world?
I'm not sure if it is. I know that a lot with the silkworm they use the silk and that, but I'm not sure with spider webbing. But it's a thing that should be, because the uses it could have.
Yeah,
you know, it's unbelievable. You know, and if it's good enough for a spider, it's good enough for us.
yeah, no, definitely, I agree with that.
Yeah, it is quite strong, their webbing, but they use it a lot as well, because they lay web mats down for molting. They'll put sperm webs down for dropping sperm. So, you know, they use it a lot with their lifestyle.
Wow. Do their web, does it like run out ever? Do they need to keep producing it, or is it just sort of thing that's never ending?
No, it's continuous. Oh, thanks, Phil. I didn't realise I'd used it for my clothes out of. That's a good thing, yeah. But yeah, they'll always put it. A lot of spiders will just build the web anyway, sensing the vibrations for food. Like, so there's something that's in that web, they'll sense the vibrations of it moving, and they'll get there and get the food. And they also sense the vibration on the legs as well of anything moving. So they have got good ways for sensing where food is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because you see it quite often. They're like, it's almost like tripwires, isn't it, coming out from their den? Yeah, it's really impressive how they do
it. Kevin, yeah, they do say that. I believe it could be if used properly, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin saying that they say the web and steel. Is that true?
I say it could be stronger than steel, but yeah, I believe it could be. You know, because it is quite strong stuff.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We've got a question here from Katrina. What moths are your corn and royal python, and would you keep funnel web? Dave's are nasty.
I'm not sure what my corn is, but my royal python is a black pastel, and yes, I would keep funnel webs.
So funnel webs, are they spiders or tarantulas?
There's spiders.
Okay, so considerably smaller, still quite potent and aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've obviously seen the pictures of them. And it's quite obvious by the name. They make like a little funnel, and they live inside of that. And like we were saying before, they've got those tripwires coming out. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's you'll find that a lot of the spiders will, like I say, with the webbing and that, will do tripwires. It's a way they feel the food, like, as it goes over them. So, you know.
Yeah. No, it's very impressive. And like you say, they're super sensitive to those vibrations.
Yeah.
I'm just going back through all the chat now, making sure that I haven't missed any questions. If there's any more, please do send them in now. You were at Taunton 1 year. Oh, I think we've just about covered all of the questions. Just double checking. Yeah, that is all of the questions. So yeah, I'm going to end the interview there and say a massive thank you for coming on and spending some time.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's been absolutely awesome. It's been awesome. Really great chat.
Thank you very much.
No, and I feel like
we've all learned a lot.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to say before I let you go for the evening?
No, just thank you to everybody in chat that subscribed to me. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all your support, and thank you for having me on.
No problem, buddy. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, and you're welcome back anytime.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Brilliant. Well, I shall let you go now. So good evening and have a good
night. Night, everyone.
Thank you. There we go. That was Mark the Spider Guy. I hope you all enjoyed that interview. I did. That was a brilliant interview. We don't normally talk much about spiders, do we? Like spiders, tarantulas. I'm going to keep saying spiders, but you know I mean tarantulas. We don't often talk about them, I suppose, because it's, what's the word, a taboo subject. There's quite a lot of people with phobias, you know, but I think they're really important to the invert community. And obviously there's a huge community out there, like the ant community needs to join up with. We need to get ourselves up to the same level as all these other invert keepers, because they're having a great time. Yeah, I think that was brilliant and really enjoyable. So like I say, he's more than welcome to come back anytime. Thank you all for watching and carrying on. Of course, we've got a million other things lined up for this evening. Not a million, but we've got a few other things lined up for this evening. So don't go away just yet. But I am saying a massive thank you to everyone for sending in questions. And joining in and watching, quite frankly, and giving him a sub. That's really cool of you to sub to Mark's channel. Really cool of you. You know, you're all awesome. Just gonna say good evening, Phil, because I haven't said good evening to you yet. Thanks for coming in, buddy. I did see your message and I will message you back. Kevin, good evening. I haven't said good evening to you yet. I'm pretty sure I've covered almost everybody. If anyone's here that I haven't said hello to yet, just like throw something in my general direction, you know, I'll say hello. Roger, I have seen your message and I will give it a look. And I think feel free to give me a message, buddy, and we'll have a little chat about that. You might be able to hear my daughter in the background. She's not happy for some reason. So anyways, guess what happened today? I had something turn up today. I had a really nice present turn up today. Now, shall I show you what it is? Can anyone guess what it is? We're going to have to move it around them that way. How cool is that? So this was made by Stacy here in the chat from our ant community, and it's like a really cool little ant mascot. I really like it. He's going to sit on my desk just here. I really do like it. So now we've got like an ant on each side of the desk. Yeah, that's cool. I'm so happy, and so thank you so much, Stacy, for that. That's really cool of you. I believe it's crochet. I have no idea how crochet is done. I just know it's really hard to do. So that's some skill right there. And look at it. It looks proper cool, doesn't it? We'll get it in the light. Yeah, look at that face. How cool is that? So yeah, I've got an ant. Oh dear. I was right. So there's a funny story to it, actually. Postman knocks on today. I'm not expecting a parcel today, and he hands me a parcel. I'm like, what is this? Can't work it out. I was expecting this, but I wasn't expecting it so fast. So when this little box turned up, I was like, what could this be? And the wife was like, that better not be more ants. Better not be this. Better not be that. I don't know. And I am. I get my knife and I start opening it up and cutting into it. And she's looking at it like, what's going to be inside of it? Then out comes this box. I think the box is a Twinings box, or it's a flavored tea box, okay? And out comes this box, and it's been sellotaped. Now, she looks at me, right? Me being Irish. Someone's just posted me this random little box of tea and she looked at me with the biggest fear on her face. I was like, come on. I get the knife, gently start bringing back the sellotape, and the look on her face the whole time, she thought we were going to explode. I open it up and I'm like, look, babe, it's just an ant. Oh dear. Yeah, it was quite amusing, but that's what happens when you get posted as an Irishman and you're not expecting it, I suppose. You never know. It took about a day and a half to make this ant, so that I have no idea what actually goes into crochet. Like, I know it's a form of knitting or some. It's hard work. I know it's like not an easy skill. It takes a lot of learning, and this is really well made. It's like robust. You know what I mean? It's not like a woolen jumper where you could like stretch it. This is really robust. And don't be sorry about scaring me. It's fine. It was only because I was like, what is this? Like, just don't know. Did not know. Oh dear. So the other thing that's going on with a post, my local post people have COVID. So like getting, sending, receiving, everything's kind of slowed down at the moment. I don't know. Obviously that didn't. But yeah, it's just a nightmare. So we're that's what I was going to say. We're expecting some boxes for sending out some of the posts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Sending out deliveries. I've been waiting on these boxes for months and months, and they just every time they send them out, they've been telling me that they're getting lost in the post. Now I half believe them because our post is rubbish around here. I live on an island. Most of the time, I actually go into the mainland now to do my posting because it's so unreliable on the island. You don't know whether they're going to send it for the next week. You made 17 bits and sewn them together, so that's what. Now that's quite important. So do you have to like pre-plan it out and get like that's the back of the head, that's the front of the head? Like, I don't know. Pardon me, burping. But I do know when I was really young, I made like a teddy or something, and all you did was you made the two sheets and you stitched them together and filled it with stuffing. Now I can tell it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. That's they say I ain't got a clue. Not a didgeridoo, as I would say. But yeah, very impressive skills. Now I'm going to say ever so quickly, if you haven't seen it yet, if you haven't been involved, the Facebook, if you're on Facebook, get on my Facebook really quickly. There's still quite a few tickets left on the raffle. It's £2 a number, and you're going to win. You could win 2 tickets to the exhibition. So £2 a number. Why not give it a go? At the minute, I think we've only sold like 4 tickets of the raffle, probably because of my bad advertising and whatnot. So if you want to have a go, you know, there's a good chance that you could win a really, really cheap ticket, which is never a bad thing. So whilst we're waiting on that, I do have a game planned. Does anyone want to come on the show, do the game with me? Everyone at home can join in on the game as well. It's just a simple little quiz. Means nothing. Answer along at home. But if anyone wants to come on the show, you're more than welcome to come on the show and actually try and answer the questions. Because I think some of them are hard, some of them are easy. I've given them a quick look over. You'll be fine. It's generic questions. But if no one wants to come on, that's absolutely fine. Just feel free to answer along at home. Let's see if we get, I don't know, 10 right answers. Let's see what happens. So first question is, what is the loudest animal on Earth? I'm going to give you another minute and then we'll move on. And I'm going to pause whilst I Wow. Normally, when I sneeze, believe it or not, like my record is like 12, but I normally average between 7 to 9 sneezes in a row. So Kevin's saying elephant is the loudest animal. I'm going to say that's not right. Keep going. Howler monkey. Now they are loud, but not quite. Antimatters is saying the blue whale. I'm going to say it very close. It's actually the sperm whale, but I'm going to give it to Antimatters because it's a whale and whales are whales. Okay, so next question. The unicorn is the national animal of which country? And don't just Google this. What do we reckon? The unicorn is the national animal of which country? North Korea. I don't know if they have a national animal. It's probably King Jong-un. Or I don't know. Right. Any last answers? Netherlands? No, it's not the Netherlands. Well, I'm going to answer it. It is Scotland. Spain, good try, Katrina. Scotland is the country of the unicorn for national animal. So, next question. A group of ravens is known as what? We need to get the countdown. Do, 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 do. Nutters. Nutters is a good one, not quite. Mob, murder, no. Murder is a group of crows. But what is ravens known as? I thought this was really interesting. Death, not quite. Unkindness. Unkindness. What a weird. Okay. But here's one we can all get. How many legs does a spider have? Yeah, 8 legs. If you didn't get that, especially after we just watched the Tarantula guy. Oh, dear. Although we now know that they can lose legs and regrow them, so they could just have 2 and be like a limp spider. What type of animal is a Flemish giant? A Flemish giant. Rabbit. Well done. Yeah, that one was fairly easy. Okay, how many hearts does an octopus have? Birdfish spider. 3. Yeah, well done, everyone. Well done. Okay, this is a good one. We're moving on from the animal subject. What is the opposite of matter? Anyone get that one? The opposite of matter. Antimatter. Yeah, well done. What is the hottest planet in the solar system? Mars? No, it's not Mars. It is. Well, we're getting Venus, Mercury. It is Venus with a temperature of 460 degrees Celsius. She's hot, hot, hot. Yeah. Where's the other one? This is a good one, and I doubt any of you will get it without Googling. We'll see. In public places in the state of Florida, it is illegal to do what whilst wearing a swimsuit? I'll say it again. In public places in the state of Florida, it is illegal to do what whilst wearing a swimsuit? Running? No, it's not running. No, it's not urinate and it's not sit down. I hope no one's urinating whilst they're wearing a swimsuit. Swim? No, it's not. It's not. You imagine that. You're not allowed to swim. You're wearing a swimsuit. No, not cycling. Right, we ready? We ready? It's illegal to sing. How weird is that? If you get seen singing in a swimming outfit, you're breaking the law. There are a lot of weird laws in different states, like you're not allowed to take your pet moose for a walk on a Thursday and things like that. I've heard some weird ones in the past. Okay, here's a bit of a what's the word that they call them? I don't know what the word is. I don't know. It's gone. I can't remember the word. It's properly gone from my head. No, it's gone. Okay. What can be broken but never held? In one state, it's illegal to cross a state line without a duck on your head. Well, that's ridiculous. A heart, not quite. What can be broken but cannot be held? That's it. Riddle. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Riddles. It's not love. It's not a heart. It is a promise. Well done, Kevin. Well done, buddy. What comes down but never goes up? Nice and easy one. P symmetry. Rain. Well done. Well done. Okay. What is measured in Mickeys? This is a hard one. No, not age. Mickeys. What is measured in Mickeys? My trousers without a belt. Mice? No, it's not mice. That's so messed up. You get your mice, you stretch your mouse out, and you're like, yeah, this mouse is 12 Mickeys long. That's kind of messed up. No, it's not amps, Katrina. Not jokes. All right, so this is an interesting one. It's the speed that a computer mouse will move. Mickeys. I don't know. We gotta go a couple more questions and then we'll move on to possibly a duck race. Okay. Here we go. Which country borders 14 nations and crosses 8 different time zones? This one, you should know this one. It's a really big country. Russia. Well done to everyone that said Russia. It is Russia. Naughty, naughty Russia at the moment, but we won't go into that. What country is responsible for creating the original Olympic Games? Italy, Rome, Greece. Yeah, It is Greece. It was the Greek Athens and that lot, wasn't it? So on a farm, what is a kid? And not just the ones that you put like ploughing the fields, as a good parent does. Like, it's so obvious now we say it. Greece. Oh yeah. Baby goat. Yeah, well done. Right, last question. Last question. And this is one to remember to tell your friends. A dump, a floater, and a wipe are terms used in what? I'm pretty sure no one's going to get this one without Google. Turd? No, it's not a turd. We're not talking about turds or any toilet behaviors. Correct measurements? No. And yes, I do know what that is. No. Bono's music, yeah. Oh, that's such a brilliant episode of South Park. I haven't watched it for so long, but brilliant episode. Probably one of my favorites, actually. Right, so last couple of seconds, I'm going to come out with it. Volleyball. What? Volleyball. Dump, floater, and wipe are terms used in volleyball. That's so weird. I don't know why. I don't know what they mean, but yeah. We'll do a couple more questions. We'll do a couple more, just because there was a call for a couple more. Which two countries have not missed one single modern day Olympics? Volley that. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah. What do we reckon? Which two countries have not missed a single modern day Olympics? Germany and Argentina? No, they've both missed some. I think Germany was banned for a little while. Not sure. Obviously, the Germans had a massive one just before the outbreak of World War II, where they tried to showcase all the best of the German potential. Hitler got really upset when some people of color started beating all the Aryans. Interesting story. If you don't know much about it, just look up I think it was 1938 Olympics, I think. I might be wrong on that. USA and China, no, probably after the. But I'm going to come out with it. Greece and Australia are the only two who have never missed an Olympics since the very start. So that means even the UK and USA and everyone have missed at least one. But then they might not have been invited to the first ones. I don't know. I'm just reading what's in front of me. What famous US festival hosted over 3,500,000 fans? 350,000. Well, yeah, 350,000. 100,000. There's a lot of zeros. In 1969. Let's say, yeah, 1969. It's not Burning Man. It was Woodstock. Yeah, Woodstock. What a classic. I would have loved to have been there. Awesome. Super Bowl. Yeah, good answer. But I don't know when the Super Bowl actually started, but Woodstock. That would have been an experience. I've done a lot of festivals in my time. Woodstock would be mind-blowing. What is the biggest selling music single of all time? Ever. Biggest selling music ever. Oh yeah, who likes music? I might have a musician come on for a segment very soon. Sort of like after the initial interview, this sort of time we'll have him come on. He's going to talk a little bit about his music. He's got a new album out, things like that. It's just another little interesting thing to have on the show, I thought. Bryan Adams, Everything, that is a really good song, but it is not the song. The biggest selling music single of all time. That Baby Night. If I started singing it, I'm pretty sure everyone would sing it along with me. That's how well you'd know it. Elton John, Candle in the Wind. Well done, Kevin, again. You've got it right, buddy. Yeah, it was Candle in the Wind in 1997. That was probably when Diana passed away, wasn't it? And he released it as like a memorial song or commemoration song or whatever you want to say. Bohemian Rhapsody, I expect Bohemian Rhapsody is well up there. It's definitely one of the most listened to, but it's still been beaten by Candle in the Wind, which I thought, yeah, why not? Okay, here's one. When Walt Disney was a child, which character did he play in his school play? Not the donkey. It's usually a donkey or a tree, isn't it? I was always a sheep or something in the background. Something which didn't have lines generally and could be ignored. Villager number 17. he actually played Peter Pan. Well done, Stacey. Yeah, that's quite amusing. Because then he went on to obviously do everything else he did. What was the very first toy to be advertised on television? Now, this was a long time ago, so if you didn't see the ad, it's not your fault, you know. The first toy to be advertised on television. It's not a Slinky. It is in Toy Story. I will say it's in Toy Story. It's not Lego, not Weebles. Those Weebles are everywhere, aren't they? Transformers. It wasn't Transformers. Thank you very much for that message, Mark. Honestly, it was a brilliant interview. We all really enjoyed it, and you're welcome to come back anytime, buddy, especially on like our open mic nights or anything like that. Or come back for one of our evening games, because we always have these little games now, and it's great fun. Potato Head. Andy Matters has got it right with Mr. Potato Head. Well done to everyone who answered that question. A really, really long time ago, that must have been, they advertised Mr. Potato Head as the very first toy on television. I can't tell you what year that was, probably 500 years ago. I don't know. Was the television about 500 years ago? I assume so, because otherwise they probably had nothing to do. Okay. Last question. And if you get this one right, you got to give yourself a clap, because it's quite a hard one. What was the first feature-length animation movie ever released. The first feature-length animation. Mickey Mouse? It was not Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse, they did shorter episodes, but they never did a full-length feature film sort of thing. It was something by Disney, yes. Steamboat Willie, that's a really great one, but again, it's only a short clip. It's only a few minutes long, that. And we're talking a full feature-length film done completely in animation. And it was done by Disney. It's a classic. If you haven't seen it, there's probably something wrong with you, or you're young. Wallace and Disney. Yeah. Wallace and Gromit was good, really good. But again, I don't think they were full feature-length films. I think even their Wallace and Gromit and the Wrong Trousers and thing, they're only about 45 minutes long, maybe long. I might be wrong. But I don't think they're, over an hour. It wasn't Toy Story. It was before Toy Story. Is it the one with all the music? Disney, come on. They've all got music. The Snowman, can't remember the name. I'm going to give it another minute or so. About another minute. And it's Snow White. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the first feature-length animation movie ever released. That was a long time ago, but it's still a classic. Like, I have watched it with my kids and they walked away and I continued watching it. Why is it we can't get kids these days to watch what we used to watch? I used to watch loads of stuff and they like, oh, this is rubbish. I put on the other day, I was sat in bed, I was chatting to the wife and we were talking about something. And it got us onto the subject of the Wacky Racers. Now, who's watched Wacky Racers? That used to be, that was staple in my household. You'd flick it on and there was Dastardly and Muttley trying to screw everyone over. And you got the science guy and the cars transform. And yeah, Wacky Racers was awesome. So I sat up in bed watching Wacky Racers at like whatever time in the evening. Why not? It was great fun. It was great fun. I highly recommend, if you haven't seen Wacky Racers before, even if you haven't seen them for a long time, check out some Wacky Racers episodes. Why not? It's great fun. Yeah, Catch the Pigeon, that was another classic, wasn't it? Roadrunner, yeah. I like all of those ones. But if I show them to my kids, they're like, what is this, Dad? Like, this is rubbish. Like, but you don't understand. Back when I was young, that was awesome. That's as good as it got, Seeing the Roadrunner and Coyote and, I don't know. Fantasia, that's a really good film, isn't it? Yeah, amazing film. So well done. They used to put it on when I was a baby and it would like send me off to sleep, but it wouldn't really because I'd sit there watching all the colours. Yeah, awesome. Try Dreamstone. What's Dreamstone? I've never heard of Dreamstone. Flintstones. Okay, yeah. Flintstones are awesome. See, I really like the Flintstones, but then when they did their sort of movies, I watched them, which I enjoyed. But now it's kind of weird to go back to the animated Flintstones that we all grew up and loved with, Weird, isn't it, how things work? But then that could be my autism. I don't like things like changing back and forth. If something is, it is, and then it shouldn't not be what it is. You know what I mean? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I've got all sorts to tell you about tonight as well. We've had a loss, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. We're going to do 2 duck races, one for fun, one for the raffle on Facebook. So the one for fun, we're going to bring up right now. We need this and that and that and this and that and this and this and that. Okay, so we currently have 9 people in the chat. Grab your numbers now. I'm going to go for a 2-minute duck race with 9 ducks. We are set. Oh, we've got some great looking ducks here. We've got Judge Duck. We have Strawberry Hat Duck. We've got Purple Duck, Pink Spotty Duck, Red Punk Duck, and the Plain Duck crew all in a line. It's going to be an interesting race to the death. I just realized I hadn't shared the screen yet, so you couldn't see any of that. And there's only 9. We currently have 9 people in chat. Ant Warrior's taken 9, Kevin's got 5, Stacey 3, Antimatter 6, Katrina 7. And if anyone else wants to grab a number, you're more than welcome to. So without further ado, here we go. Whilst this is happening, I'm going to bring up the doodad. You know what I mean. That one. And then we need... Yeah, everyone sort of has their numbers that they like to get, don't they? Which ain't a bad thing. Keeps it easy. Coming on to the last minute. Here we go. So we've got Strawberry Hat Duck leading out in front, just holding his position. All the other ducks closely behind. Number 8's just edging out in front of number 3. Judge Duck, number 2, coming up the middle. Hoping for an easy win. Last 20 seconds now. Judge Duck is holding it. Last 18 seconds. All gonna go. Here we go. Number 5. Number 5 came out of nowhere and took it. What a cheeky duck. What a cheeky duck. So, that is it. We're now going to have another duck race with 4. I'm just going to change the names. We have Luke. Oh, Luke has taken number 5. We have Adam has taken number 7. We have Luke has taken number 10. And Stacy has taken number 13. So there we go. 2-minute race. 4 ducks. You got Stacy as a purple duck. Luke is unicorn and frosty duck. And Adam is the purple star duck. So without further ado, let's get this raffle underway. Let's go. And again, whoever wins this is going to win 2 tickets to the ant exhibition, the Great Ant Exhibition. It's going to be awesome. Never seen the frosty duck before. Wow. We keep him in a cage, you see, and we only let him out for particular special events. This being one of them. Oh, it's intense. This is for 2 tickets. Go 13 go. Do you mean 3? Oh no, yeah, okay, I'll get you 13, yeah. Maybe it's got to be cheeky and go frosty. Yeah, it is a bit long, isn't it? Last 30 seconds. Adam's just pulled out ahead. Last 18 seconds. Here we go. Last little race. Everyone's putting it in. And it looks like it is Luke. Well done, Luke, with your number 1 number duck. I will send you a message with your tickets. Well done. Good winning and all of that. And everyone who was involved and didn't get a chance to win, there's going to be plenty more raffles. We also have some actual complete giveaways coming up. Loads of opportunities to get tickets still. So don't worry about that. And obviously you can buy them £15, or you can get a £5 discount code as well just by messaging me. And it is pretty much everywhere. I've started sending out posters all over the place now, so you're going to start seeing them pop up in like food shops and just everywhere. Especially if you go in Bristol, they're just going to be plastered everywhere. So yeah, that's cool. Sales are going as well. We started selling more tickets, most of them in my hand, annoyingly, and it's not actually on the page yet. I've got to do all of the hard work myself, but that's fine. Whatever, I don't care. It's gonna be a great event. I've had some more people confirm. I can't tell you who they are, but it's like, cool. So more guest speakers have confirmed, and they are really, really interesting. The exhibition sort of stuff, like I know there's going to be the trade show bit, there's going to be raffles, there's going to be the guest speakers, there's going to be the creative center. The exhibition style stuff, like the actual stuff for you to just look at, now that's coming together quite well as well. I haven't gone much into that side of it yet because I just haven't. Like, I don't want to give you everything away. I'm going to turn this light slightly. No, we're going to do that, and we're going to turn the light down slightly. Oh, not that. There we go. Whatever. What was I saying? So yeah, I haven't told you all about everything that's happening at the exhibition yet. I'm keeping some of it back, as you know. But yeah, the exhibition sort of stuff is going to be really cool. And like I say, it's sort of coming together a lot better than what I had in my mind. Do you have posters you'd like us to put up in shops? Like, if you have an opportunity to, I'm going to burp in a minute, I'm so sorry. If you have an opportunity to put it up in a shop or something like that, send me a message. I'll send you the PDF of the poster. Simple as that. Yeah, put it anywhere, everywhere, everywhere. You would be surprised the amount of emails I've sent out saying, can you put up my poster? Somewhere around 600 and odd emails I sent out just yesterday. Not all about the poster, but my message box is just getting insane. But yeah, I sent over 600 emails yesterday in relation to the different bits and bobs. What was your process of creating your store? Like, where you buy from, creating, like where you buy. Explain that a little bit better, Ant Warrior, please. What was your process of creating your store? Like, how did I make the store, or where did I make the store? I'm not quite sure on that question. A second. Right, I kind of need the toilet. So I'm going to disappear for just 2 seconds. No, a bit more than 2 seconds. Probably about a minute. And I will be straight back. So I'm going to put on some daydreaming music. Oh, Kang Lamar, welcome and thank you very much for watching over in Indonesia. That's pretty insane. Wow, hello. We definitely should talk more because Indonesia's awesome. You know, I expect you've got some awesome ants and stuff there. Stacey, yeah, I'll ping that over to you very, very soon as we finish. I'm going to disappear for 30 seconds. Should I put the tank back on? It's good. We'll put the tank back on for 30 seconds as well whilst at least then you've got something to watch. Well, I should be back in just a moment. And I am back. Hello. Let me just catch up. Yeah, what steps did you take to create it? How did the create a website? And how did I find a supplier for ants? Excuse me, there's that burp that we were waiting on. Whoops. Now, believe it or not, Ant Warrior, there's some things that I cannot tell you. Simply because I can't give away all my secrets. So my steps I took to create it in simple forms was I had the plan in my head of what I wanted to achieve. I started planning it out page by page on paper. Basically, I would have a piece of paper for each page, and I set it out in a way that I could tell what was going to link to what. I also have my notebook full of my goals for each page, what I want to kind of achieve with the website. And I based it all kind of around like developing around those ideas there. Finding the supplier and stuff. I'm quite well connected, as you may have noticed from the people I interview in the chat show. I speak to lots of people. I communicate with a huge community of invert keepers, ant keepers, fish keepers. I communicate with lots and lots of people. And I was really lucky to just come across some really good ant suppliers. But I can be completely honest and say one of my first ant suppliers is someone that we all know very well. I'm not going to say who it was, but he did me a really good deal on my first set of ants, which helped me get started, basically. So a massive thank you to him. He knows who he is. But yeah, it's been a lot of hard work and a lot of luck. Like I say, the website's always developing because the end goal is never achievable, if you know what I mean. There's always going to be more I can do and further things I can add. Yeah, the goalpost is always moving, but I think that's how it should be, because my goal isn't to be a shop. My goal is to help the hobby progress as much as I possibly can, if you know what I mean. As I was saying earlier, I want us to be recognized amongst invert keepers such as everyone else. Because even if you say to other reptile and invert keepers, yeah, I keep ants, they still kind of look at you like, ants, really? Like, yeah, well, you keep wood lice. You know what I mean? So I'd really love to get our ant keeping community recognized to the same point as the snake community, reptile community, and so on and so forth, you know. That's my end goal. So anything I can do to help the hobby, I've got like educational things and the subscription boxes. As you know, we've got free downloads for the kids. We've got sections to post up some of that artwork, which I just haven't got around to doing yet. Forum sections, nuptial flights, just anything that I think could benefit ant keepers and people like yourselves, you know. So we did have a little tragedy in the ant corner today. And I say today, I think it happened today. Now, I was feeding and looking round as I do, and one of my queens was getting dragged out of the nest, completely lifeless, which is a massive shame because I was really hoping, really hoping that this colony was going to do well. It's one of those colonies which many people have failed with. I've been told they're quite difficult, and I thought they were doing really well. And they were doing well. Like, I've moved them and so on and so forth. It's my Manica rubida. Such a shame because she's had such a long story. I got her on her own as a semi-claustral queen, raised her up to have her first set of probably 10 to 15 workers. Then most of those died. They went down to 3 workers and the queen. We put them into the new bioactive setup. They did really well. We're back up to about 10 to 15 workers again. Couple of days ago, I saw the queen was out and feeding, which I thought, okay, a little bit weird, but she is semi-claustral, okay. And then today, she was being dragged out completely still and lifeless by, well, about 5 workers. It was just, oh no. And it was just a shame because I just put the food in, and believe it or not, they're still taking protein. So there's probably a bunch of eggs and larvae in there. And no queen from now on. So I'm going to let them live out their days. You know, I carry on feeding them carbohydrates and so on. But I'm going to lower the protein levels because obviously they'll stop taking that eventually. And just let the colony slowly die out, which is a massive shame. But I'm not going to euthanize them or anything like that. I'll just let them carry on their days. Unless they look really lost, then I might euthanize them. But as it is, I'll just let them carry on. But it is a massive shame because I was really enjoying my Manica rubida. I say quite a few people have struggled to get the founding queen successful. I thought I was doing quite well, but something's happened. But I can't on why. Like, it's not a food thing because if one colony's got a problem with the food, then they're all going to have problems with the food. They all get fed at the same time off the same stuff, you know. It's not a mold issue. There's no mold. Like, the amount of springtails in that enclosure is just insane. So it's nothing to do with that. Obviously, they're getting regular food, regular water. I cannot tell you why this queen has died, but she has, and it broke my heart. So that's the end of my Manica rubida. But it does mean I've got space on my shelf. Now, For anyone who follows my channel regularly and has followed my videos for a little while, I put out a video a while back called Two Colonies, One Formicarium. And yes, it does sound like we're heading down a dark road there, but we're not. Two colonies, one formicarium. I have my colony of acorn ants, and I'm going to be attaching a colony of Camponotus. Now, I think I'm going to be doing that this week. The Camponotus are now up to 9, maybe 10 workers, so they're doing really well. Loads of eggs, and I believe loads of pupa and larvae as well. So they're doing really well. I'm going to be moving them out of the Wakushi Venus nest into a better nest setup, basically. I like the Venus nest, but it's got to the point now, because there's quite a few workers and they're large, trying to contain them when you're opening up the outworld section of the Venus nest can be quite difficult. So I'm going to be moving them into a different nest now. They're up to 10 workers, just a small one. I'll be attaching that to the outworld where I have my acorn ants living inside of it. So the idea is that they're not going to move into the outworld with the acorn ants because their substrate is so little. They're going to carry on living in the nest, but using the outworld as their foraging area, whilst it is occupied by the acorn ants. The theory is that the size difference between the two, they should just completely ignore each other. It's been done a few times, so we're going to wait and see. Are there a species you could add a new queen to? Stacey, I'm not really sure. It has been done before, but to be honest, it's not a practice I like to do. It's almost like brood boosting and stuff. It's just not something that I like to do myself. If I'm going to try again, I'd rather try again from scratch. But that's just me, you know. Me and my funny ways. Just reading back. Oh yeah, Stacey's going to get the beginner subscription at the end of the month. Absolutely awesome. Thank you, Stacey. I don't know if Kevin's still watching. He might well be, but Kevin is one of the recipients of the beginner subscription boxes. He can tell you roughly what you'll be getting and if it's any good. But from what I can tell, everyone so far has had no complaints. Everyone's happy with what they're receiving, enjoying some content and the learning bits in it, you know. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy. I'm super excited about the next ones to go out because I know what's going in them already. And oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm always excited. I get excited very easily, but not easily. It's when things start to go well. We have got a few people on it actually on the subscription boxes, so you're more than welcome to talk to any of them and like see what they think of it. We might be doing just a food subscription box as well, like a live feeder subscription box, but it's more for like a large amount of food, because there's no point in getting a subscription box if all you need is one box of mealworms a month or so. But for people like me that need a constant supply of varying sources of protein, so on and so forth, it's sort of a good option. Should keep it fairly cheap as well. You get like several different types of feeder insects basically for a set price, sent to you every fortnight. I think we're looking at doing this because it will keep it fresher and more regular. And of course, the price will be as little as I can possibly make it. But it's all in the planning phases at the minute. It's not going to be on the website for a little while until the planning phase is done and stock requirement. You know, there's a long process to making these things. It's not set up overnight. Payday at the end of May. End of May is a long time to wait to get paid. I hope you've got some food in your cupboards. What are we in? April? Wow, painful. Cool. I keep burping, and it's because I've been drinking this Relentless. Because of my health conditions, like any fizzy drink sends my gas insane. Like it all comes out the top, thank God. But yeah, I get really bad burps. I try not to do it on stream, as you may have noticed. Yes, I know that feeling, Stacey. I do know that feeling. It feels like at the minute, with the rate of inflation, things are just getting out of hand. Don't know if anyone else has noticed, but electric bills especially. I mean, I know I've got a lot of lights and a lot of heating elements now, and that's probably where a lot of it goes, but just crazy prices on electric and things. I don't know how it's going to go into the future, maintaining it, you know. You made a deal with your hubby, he doesn't mind, but after the holiday. No, that completely makes sense. Holiday is a little bit more important than the subscription box, I will admit that. Only a little bit though, you know. The intermediate subscription boxes are really cool as well. The intermediate ones, you get a choice. Each time you get a colony, you get a choice between a couple of different ones, and from that choice, I will write your learning materials and stuff like that. Like I say, every box is tailor-made. Everything I write is tailor-made and written with your progress in mind. It's not just a blanket. This is for everybody. A few other things I was going to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you everything. You see that beetle try to take one of those waxworms? Cheeky thing. In fact, it's another duck race. We'll have another one for fun. We've got 8 people in the chat. Excuse me for coughing, I apologise. 8 people in the chat, 2-minute duck race. If you want to get in on it, shout out the number. Probably be having a duck race, we'll have another little chat for a bit, and then we will be calling it a night. So Stacey has taken number 3. And welcome to anyone over on Twitch watching us. I see we do have some viewers on Twitch currently. And good evening to everyone on Facebook watching us. Oh, and good evening anyone in the future listening to us on Spotify. And if you haven't seen yet, I updated some of the logos and stuff because we're on so many platforms now. Do you want to know how many different platforms we're on? Right, let's get this right, shall I? Let's get this right, because I keep forgetting some. It took a bit of effort to get it right. So we've got the website, which is www.answertherock.com. Then we've got YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Anchor, Twitter, Patreon, Discord, and TikTok. So if you can't find me, I don't know, you're blind. I'm everywhere. It's insane. But I do say I have massive support from my admin team. They are absolutely amazing, phenomenal people that have helped me out on all the different places and channels that I am. You know who they are. We have Dean, we have Stein, and we have J-Man. And we also have our super chatters who are amazing as well. So we have Stacy at 3, Ant Warrior at 9, Katrina at 7, Tyler at 2. Welcome, Tyler. I don't think we have spoken. We may have spoken before. I'm not sure. It's hard to remember everyone, but good evening and thanks for signing in, Tyler. So we have Police Duck in number 1. We have Plain Duck, Scholar Duck, Spider Duck, Purple Striped Duck, Red Spotted Duck, Crazy Massage Duck, and Wizard Duck. So, without further ado, let's get these ducks down the river. Oh, and Mark's just come in at number 6. Tyler, it's your first time. Well, thank you very, very much for signing in, buddy. We've done our interview and things like that. We always start the night with an interview, or we try to, and then we move into these chat show where we have little games and talk a load of rubbish, basically. You get to listen to me chat rubbish for an hour or so. But it's all good fun. There's no prizes for these games currently. In the future, we will have more sponsorships and things like that, which will allow us to give out more prizes. But at the moment, I just do as much as I can, giving out prizes from the website. But for this duck race, there is no prize. It's just for fun. Tyler's in number 2. So Tyler's Plain Duck has just been taken over by the Police Duck. We have Stacy in number 3, the Scholar Duck, Ant Warrior number 9, but there's only 8 ducks, so I'm going to move Ant Warrior back to number 8. He is the Wizard Duck. We have Mark in number 6, is Red Spotty Duck, and Katrina is number 7, the Weird Massagey Duck. Tommy, your link for the live only went on. Oh no, that sucks. I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Last 20 seconds. Right, they're coming up to the last bit of field now. They're all coming back, holding back that last bit of energy. 15 seconds. They're going to push for it. Last break. Number 6 is coming down the middle, closely followed by 4, 3, 7, 8. Everyone's pushing up. Last 4 seconds. The finish is in. And number 6 is the winner. Well done, Mark. You won another amazing duck race. Hop on the broomstick. Yeah, if only it worked like that. But I think, if you got on a broomstick and all the other ducks were in the water, we'd probably have complaints from the duck overseers and stuff. You don't want to anger the swans when they start coming in and complaining at you. I don't know. I chat some rubbish sometimes, don't I? Is everyone looking forward to Easter? Is everyone ready for Easter? Has everyone got eggs? I had to get loads of eggs. Oh, wow. Did you hear about the Kinder eggs? Like, they've had to recall everything Kinder, haven't they? Which is not good right at Easter when everyone's just bought eggs. Mark, you think that was the first time you've ever won? Well, that was good. You should get get more involved in all the giveaways and raffles and stuff, and then you'll win more. Haha. Now, you know me, I try and give away as much as I can. If I could give away everything, I would. But I am not in this for money at all, as you may already know. I hope you know, because it's not relevant. As long as I've got enough money to live and put on my streams and stuff, I'm not in this for the money. I do this for the love of the hobby, love of the community, and I just want to help things progress, So you'll never see me charging extortionate prices. I'll always try and keep everything as cheap as possible, even if that does affect the course slightly. You know me. what do they call me? They say I do everything raw, right? When I go to the gym, right, you see some people, they turn up at the gym and they got like their gloves and then they put on this and they go and get dressed and do this and do that. And they got to have their headphones in and all of this. I turn up to the gym literally in what I'm wearing most of the time, slap a bit of chalk on, and I train. Like when I turn up at a place, I do what I do it raw, as they say. Very little preparation. But you'd be surprised. These picnic table shows, the chat show, I say I do things with very little preparation. You'd be so amazed how much preparation goes into these chat shows for you. I have lists of questions, I have scripts, I pre-plan the games, things like that. Finding people to interview and setting up dates, and there's quite a bit to it, but I love it. It's great fun, and I think season 3 has definitely been the best season we've had so far. It's going to get even better when the better computer comes in and the better graphics and things like that. It's going to blow my mind, let alone yours. I think season 3 is going amazing, really awesome already. We're on episode 4 of season 3, and I'm already enjoying it more than the previous 2 seasons. Not saying that the previous 2 were bad, but we did go through hell on earth with some of those nights of signal, didn't we? Lack of signal, we could say. I'm going to see if my mum will send me the sweet robin eggs. They are like mini eggs and Maltesers put together. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. You know what we did last year? These people make like cheesecakes out of chocolate eggs. Now, we did that. I can't remember. It's not like a cheesecake. It's like extra chocolate. I don't know, whatever. We did it. It's just too much. Not even I, the like sugar fiend, could finish it. It was too much for me, which means it's too much for the rest of the world because I love sugar. I could eat sugar. I probably wouldn't, but I could. We're probably going to give it another 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll be calling it a night, I think. Again, a massive thank you to everyone signing in, watching another episode, and keeping me company. A massive thank you to our sponsors. Ants Are Us, absolutely amazing store. Got some really great ants on their store, some really great products all around, but the ant quality is second to none, especially throughout the UK. And I'm happy to say that as well. Not just because he's my sponsor. Ants Are Us has been one of my main places to go for ants since I started, and he's recently had a stock update as well. He's got some Camponotus singularis, Camponotus nicobarensis, and Camponotus fedidoskin, blah, blah, blah. And he's got lots of really cool new ants coming in, basically. So if you haven't checked out Ants Are Us, check him out. He's an absolute legend. Me and my sister used to go in the shop and go over to the leaking sugar bags and eat the sugar. Probably wasn't, Ant Warrior, it's probably not good for you, but it kept you going. And that's all that matters. I always say, most of what, ignore the last comment. I don't think we saw the last comment, Katrina. What was I saying? Yeah, I always say, my lifestyle, I don't tend to worry about if it's going to be healthy for me. If I want to do it, I do it. But I have extreme circumstances where I don't have to think about my future. Because of my health conditions, we sort of know how long I'm going to be around. So I don't have to worry about the longevity of my life. I can enjoy high sugar. I can do what I want. to an extent, you know what I mean. I don't have to worry about how it's going to affect me when I get old, which is a nice bonus, you know, for anyone suffering with long-term conditions. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. We can enjoy ourselves slightly more. Brilliant. And I want to say a massive thank you, of course, to our Patreon supporters, Kevin Rogerson, Jason Walker, and Andy Matters. You're all absolutely legendary for supporting me in the way you do. Patreon is a brilliant way of showing us support. You can do it for just a couple of quid a month. All the money goes straight back into the show, the brand, everything that I do for you, not the shop at all. My business is completely separate to the Patreon, so like things don't get mixed up. Patreon money strictly goes straight into making my YouTube better, basically improving the quality of my cameras and things like that. So if you want to show me some support on Patreon, you're more than welcome to. It's only a couple, well, £3, I think is the one at the moment. But don't feel you have to, you know, it's just if you want to. And of course, you get all sorts of little perks and stuff from it. You get your name mentioned and so on and so forth. Go have a little look. And obviously, if any big stores or anyone really is looking at getting something advertised, then there is advertisement opportunities on Patreon as well through the chat show. Same sort of thing as I have done before. It just helps us improve the quality. And if we can set up another sponsorship, it will allow us to give away more prizes on our giveaways or competitions. And I think it would be really cool to have a prize every episode, but I cannot do that. I can't afford to do that, quite honestly. So we're working on it. You know, always working, never resting. But is there anything anyone wants to say before we call it a night? It is 11:20 now. I know we've gone later than this in the past, but I don't know. I can't sit here all night. I'll run out of stuff to talk to you about and I'll start giving away all my secrets. Last time I did that, I got in trouble with my admin team. And now I've got even more secrets to give away. No, not even more secrets. I've got more information and they would beat me up. I don't know. It's all good fun, isn't it? Let's be honest. I do have some good videos coming out soon, I do promise as well. I was so ill the other week that the thought of getting up to do anything, well, as you know, I couldn't even make it to the picnic table, which for me is a big thing. I literally had to drag myself out of bed and down the stairs to turn on the computer that day. It was pretty grim, to be honest. Can't remember what I was saying. It's gone. Oh well. But I think that is about it. We are gonna call it a night. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Feel free to check out my video coming out on Saturday. There is one coming out this week. Like I say, I've missed the last 2 weeks. I've just been so ill and unwell. Then having to catch up on everything that I did miss. I just wasn't able to get the videos done as I normally would. There will be videos on Saturday. I'm hoping to get my review video up on Monday as well. And of course, the picnic table show on Sunday. Shall we have a look at what's happening on Sunday? Does anyone know? Anyone know yet? We have an open mic night. Yes, that means you can get on, you can have a chat, you can talk about pretty much anything you want to talk about. I will say we need to try and keep some of the advertising to a minimum now, mainly because I am starting to charge for advertising to help the picnic table streams along. So I can't really allow much free advertising on the chat show anymore. But you're more than welcome to come on and we'll just have a general chat about what you're up to and It's not advertising, it's us chatting about what you're up to. So yeah, on Sunday we have, and it's going to be brilliant, it's going to be packed, and it's going to be crazy. You know, after 10 p.m. we start to get a little bit more wild and let the chat just flow. And this time next week, so that is next Wednesday on the 20th, we have our sponsor, Tarantulas, is coming on for another amazing interview, amazing chat, find out what he's doing, what he's got coming in. You know, it's going to be awesome. We love speaking to Chris from Tarantulas. He's a really nice guy, knows his stuff, and he's really passionate about helping the community as well, much like myself. So, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be brilliant, and it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to see you there. So, I'm going to love you and leave you. That's it for me tonight. I need to think of a better way of signing out of the show because I can never say goodbye to everyone. Goodbye, Ant Warrior. Goodbye, Mark. Goodbye, Stacey. Goodbye, Katrina. Goodbye, Kevin. Goodbye, Tyler, if you're still there. Auntie Matters. Lamar, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please do send me a message and slap me with an email or something. Anybody else who's in the chat tonight, thank you so much for watching. You're all absolutely amazing. So I'm going to go. Good night. And as always from me, I'll see you again soon, Ant fans.